This is the Your Business Like a Pro podcast, episode 35.
Welcome to the Market Your Business Like a Pro podcast with Ken Countess. Ken is an internationally recognized marketing expert. This podcast will give you tips on how to market your business more effectively than ever before to help you make more money, whether you're just starting out or have been in business for years. And now, here's Ken Countess.
Hey, this is episode 35 of the Market Your Business Like a Pro podcast. I'm Ken Countess. We've got a great interview this week. It's with Joey Atlas. And listen all the way through because you're going to hear how somebody took his passion and turned it into an amazingly huge business. Before we get into that, I just want to spend a minute and to let you know about our brand new Email Marketing Academy. You can learn how to do email marketing at your time, at your convenience, anytime, anywhere you've got an internet connection. Just go to our website. It's marketyourbusiness.co/email-academy. marketyourbusiness.co/email-academy. Now let's get to the interview with Joey Atlas. Enjoy it. So welcome to this week's Market Your Business Like a Pro podcast. I'm Ken Countess. And today I'm totally delighted that I've got a guest by the name of Joey Atlas. And Joey is someone that I met through a referral network. And we've actually had a few minutes to chat before we roll tape on this particular interview. He's just got a fabulous story. And as you know from being a regular listener of the podcast, this is all about helping you in whatever kind of business you're in, learning how to do a better job of marketing your business. That's why it's called the Market Your Business Like a Pro podcast. So Joey, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Ken. Happy to be here.
Yeah, it's great. And we had a few minutes to chat beforehand, as I mentioned. Your story is just so great. I'd love for you to talk about it again. And so tell me a little bit about you, and then we'll get into what you're doing now and what led you up to today.
Okay. Awesome question. Long answer. So most people see me as a fitness, nutrition guy. Keep in mind, I'm 48 now. So I'm not one of the young 25-year-old fitness phenoms, but I've managed to keep myself in fantastic shape. I use my annual health and medical exam as a guidepost. And so that's something that's always fresh on my mind. And that keeps me making the decisions and staying on the path throughout the whole year, knowing that annual physical, that full medical blood work profile is coming up. I want awesome grades on that thing because that's the thing that's telling me how things are going on the inside. So when I was younger, it was more about vanity and competing on stage, looking good at the beach. And as I've become wiser with time and age, it's become more about the holistic aspect of complete internal health and wellness, longevity and well-being. And when you do that all right, usually you look pretty good on the outside. So it becomes a side effect more of the main goal that you're after.
Cool.
So I started out, fitness was exposed to me by my father. He used to exercise around the house when we were younger, doing these different body weight types of moves. And he'd have some things that he would make. He was a really handy carpenter. So he would make some things. He would put up, things in the doorway, and he would exercise on a consistent basis. It was simply part of his life. So as kids, we got to see this, whereas most kids in the 70s didn't see any of their parents exercising because it just wasn't normal.
Right. Yeah, sure.
Very small percentage of the population. So that was an early influence on me because I got to see how fit my dad was and what he was capable of doing as compared to everybody else around him. Our relatives, neighbors. He was strong. He was fit. He was able to do things. And you could see why. He put in the effort. He got the benefits. And so, and he had friends who did the same thing. And I would get to meet them, and they were all strong, happy people, vibrant, full of energy. And I wanted to be like that. I wanted to look like that, and I wanted to be like that. I wanted to have that kind of attitude and that persona. And so that inspired me. So that led me on the fitness path for personal reasons. And in college, I really didn't know what I wanted to do.
As most of us are probably in that same boat.
Absolutely. Changed majors, again, maybe 5 times. And then I decided, well, my school has an exercise physiology program. That's what I love doing. I'm going to try for that and try to get a degree in exercise physiology and start building a career on that afterwards. And so I did, got in, graduated, and started a personal training and fitness consulting business after that. And was trying to maintain my personal fitness path, which became more of a challenge as I became more and more booked with clients. And so started the introspection of how much time can I dedicate to my fitness training, but also have enough time to devote to business and other activities. And so as the years went by, I always had to try to find this balance, and eventually realized that in adulthood, my first marriage with young kids, something had to change. And the amount of time I was dedicating to traditional fitness training and working out had to change.
And this was with your fitness business you're referring to?
Right. At the time, I still had the fitness business.
Okay.
But I myself was struggling to fit the traditional style of working out for 90 minutes in a gym into a very busy life.
Okay.
And the struggles went on for years. I had a couple of ups and downs, totally fell off a few times and really got out of shape, really depressed, hurting really bad. My medical profiles got really bad. And so I was able to feel what it was like to be out of shape, to be overweight, to have a body that hurt, to have a mind that was sad and struggling. And it allowed me to develop an empathy for people who need more help. So I eventually came out of that, got myself back on track, but it was only because I was able to change my style of training to be realistic in a regular busy person's life. So instead of 90 minutes, I found ways to get my workouts down to an average of 30 minutes.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, and get better results.
Yeah.
Get rid of a lot of the aches and pains that come with the traditional gym style workouts. And in the process, as I mentioned before, I started doing these workouts on playgrounds and just not even going to the gym anymore. So I was going to the playgrounds, having a deep knowledge of the body and biomechanics and how we can move our bodies in relation to gravity and using different simple tools that are available to us. I was able to keep developing more and more exercise programs that kept bringing good results, gave me plenty of endless variety. And then I had people who wanted to do this with me. Some clients didn't want to be in the gym. They actually saw the things I was doing at playgrounds, knew all about it, and they'd want me to train them at their local playgrounds if I went to see them or if they came to see me.
Well, going to a gym, I think for many people is intimidating.
Absolutely. So this takes us into an interesting area. Most quote unquote gym people, it's just simply, it's what they do. And I was like that when I was younger, so it was very second nature to me. But 85, 90% of the population are not gym people. They're not fitness fanatics where it's almost like a hobby to them. I don't want to say a healthy way of life, because there are some people who are so obsessed with their fitness that it becomes a dysfunction in their life.
Right.
Right. There's an imbalance there. But those who are so dedicated and committed and, willing to put in the 2 hours or 90 minutes, that's fine if that's what you like doing. However, the rest of the population is not going to do that for their health and fitness needs.
Sure. So let's, if you don't mind, let's talk now about your business and how you've evolved your business and how you got to where you are today.
Absolutely. So in short, I wanted to start that personal training business as the beginning of my career. And I did that, was very successful, developed a huge clientele, but that made me way too busy because I was the guy delivering the service. Mm-hmm. And even though I had other trainers working for me, I was still carrying the load because it was my business.
You're a slave to your business.
Correct. So trading hours for dollars, I realized I'm really good at what I do. I have a very unique approach to fitness and helping people. I need to get this information out there to the masses instead of just the local affluent people who can afford me one-on-one. So I decided I'm going to start making DVDs, online videos, PDFs with all of my best programs, and I'll sell them to people around the world. So that
and when was this now? Give me a time frame.
Sure. This was 2006.
Okay.
2006 was when I'm not a techie kind of guy, but I was dedicated to figuring some of these things out so that I can make that change and have my programs being sold while I sleep instead of me having to be with somebody at their side counting their repetitions and guiding them.
Perfect.
Right.
Okay.
So I built my first websites, recorded my own first videos, and just started putting them online and selling them. And people started buying them miraculously. And I realized that if I could keep making this work and grow it, this will free up my time from having to train people one-on-one. And I won't have to train people for 15 or 16 hours a day.
So that was in 2006 is when you started creating the DVDs. Right. What came next? What was the next major shift? And by the way, tell us too, how did you market the DVDs?
So I marketed the DVDs by putting together informational, direct response style websites for each type of program.
Okay.
So sharing my expertise on the websites, educating people as to why I created these DVDs the way I did and why they're different from other products out there. Mm-hmm. And just sharing as if we were in conversation, just answering different questions in blog posts. I started teaching myself how to do Google AdWords, Facebook ads. SEO was easy back then. So SEO, sure. So I was using that.
Different today.
And I started creating more programs because the people who were buying my first programs were telling me, whatever you make, I will buy. So when you make something else, please email me about it and I will buy it. Mm-hmm. So I kept going, and I was selling things to people in every country. There were no limits, and I still do. Back then, though,
the beauty of the internet, having that online business is wonderful, isn't it?
Absolutely. So it was almost surreal in the beginning, but when the money being generated by the online business surpassed what I was doing as a traditional personal trainer, mm-hmm. I realized, okay, it's time to decrease the personal training and really focus on developing an online-based business where I still help people, but I can help people all over. And if anybody wants to hire me, if they're willing to pay a steep enough price, if they find that value in me to work one-on-one, I will still do that. And they don't even have to be local. You know, if schedule allows, I will go on location, which I still do today. I will still go on location because there are people who come across me and they will realize, wow, this guy is 48. He's fitter than most 25-year-olds. Mm-hmm. This guy not only knows what he's doing, but when you listen to him speak and you read his material and you see his types of workouts that he shares on YouTube, you know he's got something different going on.
Yeah, and you bring up a good point, Joey, because I think a lot of people who are in business or who have been in more traditional businesses, if you will, it's hard for them to reconcile the fact that you've got expert knowledge mm-hmm. that is marketable.
Yes.
You know, so in your case, it's this fitness routine that, people are willing to pay money for, as you've learned. And, as a marketing service provider, there are people who say, you know what, you've got 20, 30, 40 years of experience. That's valuable to me. Right. And so I think you provide a very valuable service in that you can teach someone, within 30 minutes in a 30-minute daily routine or whatever the frequency is.
Right.
They don't have to commit those 2 hours a day because who's got 2 hours a day anymore?
Exactly. So there's value in that time paradigm shift. You know, if somebody says, well, this trainer is supposedly one of the best, but their program is going to be 55 minutes every day or a little longer. Whereas this guy, Joey, he's got this method, and if he works with me, it's only about 30 minutes a day. And for the type of person I am and the life I have, saving me that half hour or more is worth so much money in my life, because that's, 30 or 40 minutes a day that I'm shaving off my fitness time, and I'm getting at least the same, if not better results. Right. So there's a value proposition there in bringing that to somebody, or somebody recognizing that and knowing there's really a different price tag on you because of the time and the risk that you're going to save me from doing the traditional type fitness approach.
Of course.
So that's marketable. It's a differentiator for sure.
For certain, it's a differentiator. So let's fast forward now. Let's move into the 2010s decade, okay. and get us up closer to 2018, which is we're recording this, by the way, in the middle of May of 2018.
Perfect. So 2010-ish. By that time, things had ramped up pretty good. I realized that not only from a financial aspect, that this was viable, but the feedback I was getting was so reaffirming. And I still to this day get such awesome testimonials that I couldn't even write myself if I wanted to. And, knowing that even right now, somebody might be buying one of my programs that I don't know about, but in 3 months or 6 months, they might write a testimonial that can almost bring me to tears. Seriously.
Yeah, your raving fans. I mean, your raving fans will tell your story better than you ever could.
They do. So make a note to come back to that as marketing material, the testimonials and the success stories, because that's really important. So that was reaffirming to me that I need to keep going, because I knew there are millions and millions of more people out there that I still need to reach, who I can help dramatically. And so started expanding into trying out some affiliate networks to help get my programs out there even further. Kept learning about conversion improvement, optimization, traffic expansion, back-end building. And so the funny thing is in back-end building, so my front end is still mostly $30 to $70 programs.
Right.
But depending on who finds me, some people they're willing to pay a few $1,000s for my home gym system and the programs that go with that. There are also people willing to pay to hire me directly at an extremely high price point to coach them personally, or to fly to them on location to help them and their family. So it leads me into getting involved on a personal level again, but it's not at $80 an hour or $90 an hour. It's now at multiple $1,000s for a weekend,
right?
Or tens of $1,000s for a 3-month or 6-month program, where they have me as their personal guy. They have my cell phone number. So it changes the paradigm. It changes the business model. I still enjoy doing the one-on-one, but not 16 people a day.
Right, sure. I want to back up a little bit, because I know that people who listen to this podcast are looking for, in many cases, they're looking for that more advanced method of growing a business. But I wanted to go back to the front end building, where you're charging, as you mentioned, between $30 and $70, and that's a great entry point. And from there, you're doing the upsell, which contributes to your back end. So the point I just want to make or reinforce, is that you don't have to start out with a multi-$1,000 price point for your products. You can start on the lower end and build from there. And there's there may be a much broader audience willing to do that uptake on the 30 to 70. And those who are able to afford the higher price tag, they're going to self-select.
Naturally. And that happens naturally.
You are listening to the Market Your Business Like a Pro podcast with Ken Countess. If this is your first time listening, thanks for coming. The Market Your Business Like a Pro podcast is produced every week. Come back often and feel free to add the podcast to your favorite RSS feed. You can also follow Ken on Twitter @Countess Group and on Facebook at facebook.com/The Countess Group. Now let's get back to the show.
Hey, I'm talking this week with Joey Atlas. He is really a great example of a guy who is following his passion and has built a pretty extraordinary business. Now back to the interview.
Okay, so let's continue. Let's talk, let's get into more about the back end building.
Absolutely. So I like to kind of see what kind of sales are going on each day, where people are coming from. I pay attention to the small details. Like if somebody emails, I like to see most of the emails that come back to me, because the way I write my email newsletters and updates, I write it personally, as if I'm sending it to one person. And I do get people to respond, and I want to see what they're writing to me. So I'll get most of them to come back to me. And in doing this, I get to see the language and the emotions of these people who I still need to reach, because they're very similar to lots of these people who are already in touch with me.
Yeah. And I think, by the way, that and you've mentioned it, and I want to reinforce the point, is there's a place for the traditional email marketing services that we've all come to know and love.
Sure.
But what's happening now, the pendulum is swinging, and there's a shift now, a very dramatic shift, to where when you're selling the higher end stuff, that more personalized email has a very definite place, and people are responding to it in ways that they didn't before.
Absolutely. And I'll go so far as to, depending on the level of engagement, I'll email somebody back directly if they responded to a broadcast type email. I want to learn more about them, because I know there are still many more people like them who I can help. Right. And I genuinely do like connecting with people. So here's an example. How do you learn more about your back end and how high it can go? Well, you talk about the people who are capable of going there. So I knew there was, sometimes they'll reach out to you. They'll just say, whatever you have, I'm buying. And that means what it means. And so I spoke to one a few weeks ago, because she was waiting for the day the machine launched, the home gym system. She said, I want to send you money right now. I said, well, let's back up. What has gotten you to this point? I want to know why you trust me so much. What have I done for you? Because we haven't spoken, and you're willing to send a few $1,000s without me even having this thing ready today. She said, well, I'll be honest with you. I'm wealthy. We've done very well in our lives. We can afford just about anything. And I've had all the best trainers and nutrition coaches and lifestyle coaches. And you, without ever having met you, I've only bought your DVDs and online programs. And just through those alone and the things you write in your emails, you've changed my health and body more than any expensive trainer I've ever hired or nutrition coach I've ever hired. And for that, you deserve to be acknowledged. You deserve to hear this from me. And you deserve to know, because of all that, I'm willing to buy anything you put out there, period.
That's so great. Marketing is so much about relationship building.
Absolutely.
And there are many things that are out there on the market that are impulse buys. But when it comes to the higher end high ticket items, cultivating that relationship, and it sounds like you've done it perfectly.
Absolutely. So again, going broad on the internet, you're putting a lot of stuff out there. You're getting a lot more buyers, but you still need to keep your ear to things, to know who you're connecting with, who your best consumers are, whose lives you're impacting the most, so that you could lean into those areas and really develop a business based on the people you can help best and who can most afford various levels of your products and services.
Right. This is terrific. Let's move ahead here. What I'd like to do is, you've obviously been very successful in the projects that you've been working on. What I want to ask you is, where do you find that most business owners are most challenged when it comes to growing their business?
Okay, great question. It's what I lived through. When I first started out on the path of creating the personal training business, I was the trainer. And again, I'm blessed with various skills that most people don't have that allow me to connect with people in a very non-intimidating way and deliver to them something very unique that is not just about, okay, here's the program, this is how you do the program. It's also how I communicate with people. There's a very disarming way of how I communicate with people and a very empowering way. And I get them to see and understand things that aren't visible to the naked eye that that are preventing them actually from getting the results they want. In addition to having a good program to follow, there are things going on in their mindset where they need a paradigm shift, or they need to become aware of certain things that they're not aware of that are affecting their behavior patterns. When you start opening that up and you give them a really good, unique program to follow, it's like magic for them, right?
Sure. Before you said the word magic, that's what I was thinking.
And I love that. And people will use that word. And it's very reaffirming. It lets you know you're doing the right thing. You're bringing your highest talents and skills and gifts to the world. And that's the message you get. So,
and too, you're doing it with authenticity.
You have to.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So what would you say a business owner who's challenged in growing their business, and when it comes to marketing now, what should they do more of and what should they do less of?
Okay. So number one, if you're working 16 hours a day or 10 because you're the guy or woman who was capable of performing a service, and then your business became you trading that service for dollars on an hourly basis, you have to find a way to fix that. And that means duplicating your, whatever it is that's inside you that you deliver to people, you have to duplicate that, preferably in the form of information products. And next step is in the form of other like-minded people who are on the same mission as you, who also want to deliver the same end results to people so that they can start doing it. And then when you shift that time factor to other people who are on your team, then you can work on the marketing and the broader communications of allowing people to find you and what it is you can do for them. So it's increasing awareness, right? So as the business owner who's stuck in the time factor, you get other people to help you. You recreate your products and services as best you can in other formats to help more people. And then you work on the marketing that simply creates a larger and larger awareness that you guys exist, that this product or service or system exists. Because people can't come to talk to you or buy anything from you unless they know you exist. So It's creating that. Yes.
So tell me, what do you think are some more of the things that both experienced and newbie business owners should know about marketing their business? You've done it all, right? You've created businesses, you've got sustained businesses. What do you think those things are that people should know, and what are the things that they should look out for?
All right, great question. So let's start with what to look out for. When you go into business, whether it's brick and mortar or online or both, you're going to have all the traditional advertisers approaching you saying you need to be in their newspaper, you need to be in their magazine, you need to buy radio time, you need to buy TV time. And that's their job, to scout for new businesses, pounce on you so that they could be the first to try to get your quote unquote advertising dollars. Right. And basically you're flushing money down the toilet. So the key is to be aware that they're going to approach you, have them just leave their materials with you that you'll get back to them, and just understand that that's how it works. They're going to promise you lots of good things. They're going to make it sound fantastic, that's going to be the key to your business, but it's really not. They can be used later on in a crafty way that you develop, but they're not going to be the right way to get your business off the ground. It's just going to be an easy way to spend thousands and thousands of dollars with minimal ROI.
That's great advice.
Thank you. So the way to think about marketing your business is a couple important aspects here. Number one, what is it that you actually do? What is it that you're very uniquely gifted at in what you do? And if you don't know what it is, you have to find it. You have to find what makes you a different personal chef than somebody else. What makes you a unique, more effective accountant than somebody else? What makes you a better luxury home architect than somebody else? What makes you a better hairdresser than all the other hundreds of hairdressers in your local zip codes? If you don't know what it is, you have to find it. You have to work on finding it. You have to see what it is that is unique about you that somebody can latch onto, that will catch their ears. Then you have to highlight those differences, right? For some, this is very easy because it's very obvious, but for others, it's not so obvious. Some people just think, well, I'm a business attorney, just like all these other business attorneys, but this is my name and my logo will be different, right? That's not going to work. So
I would also add, Joey, and tell me if you agree or disagree. So often we come across people who have this desire to change the way they do business, and they say, but I'm too busy, I'll get to it later. And I think the right approach is, if you're in that mindset where you just say, I'm too busy, I'm on this treadmill, and I'm just, I'll find the time. Well, you never find the time.
No.
So I think what you have to do is quit early one day, or get up early one day, or don't take lunch, and just sit back and reflect. And don't just do it one time. I think you need to do it multiple times. So you really hone in on exactly the things that you're talking about. Is figure out what your sweet spot is and go after it. And
absolutely.
put away all the other stuff.
Yeah.
It's not necessary.
Exactly. And it's very likely that somebody listening to this might think, well, I don't know how to do that. I want to do that. But I don't know how. Well, get help.
Get help.
People like you, Ken, where you can help people with things like that, right?
Because and you can too, because you've been down that road also.
I get asked a lot. So, and there are people who are keen enough to see my marketing and step back and say, wow, I just bought. So I have a golf specific program, because my approach to fitness and conditioning and nutrition is very gentle. It's conducive to some finer sports. So I have a golf program, and I will have golfers say, I spent X amount of dollars on your programs, and I'm a hard sell, but your marketing was brilliant. You weren't even marketing to me. You had great information, right? You had great information that helped me without me even paying you. You helped me understand why that thing helped me in a way that no golf pro could explain, because they don't know the body. No other trainer can explain, because they haven't studied golf mechanics, but you did. And giving you $70, $80, or $90 for your programs I didn't even have to think about it.
Right.
That's awesome marketing. I have a business in the XYZ industry. Can you help me do the same kinds of things? And I will pay you to do what you do for your business that we could do for our business, because we have no idea how you do this. How do you think of putting what together? So it's funny you say that, because people who see it, who are business minded or entrepreneurial, they'll see what happened and they'll realize, wow, we need to do this for what we sell and offer to people. We need the same model. So I do that occasionally. I don't advertise it. I don't market that, but some people
you can send them over here. That's fine.
Yeah, exactly. When they pay the right price, I'm happy to do it. I actually enjoy it. It's a lot of fun, as you know. But that's a very, very limited offering.
It is.
So the other part of marketing, when you have your unique positioning in the marketplace, and that unique positioning has to be genuine. It has to be real. So if you're going to say something, you have to be able to back that up in your deliverables. People have to see that. Okay.
And you have to be authentic.
Absolutely. So once you have that covered, then you have to make sure that you are taking note of the results that you're delivering to your best customers, if not all your customers and clients. You have to take those success stories, and with permission, of course, you need to turn those success stories into your marketing materials. They have to become case studies, whether it's in the form of video or blog posts or PDFs or specific web pages. You have to turn those positive results into visible marketing materials, communications that other people can see and say, wow, look what Ken did for this guy's business, right? So
let your raving fans brag about you.
You can say, hey, I can help you, find 4 hours in your workday by releasing the time you're devoting to your business and increase your your revenue by 50% this year. Right. You can say that. Now, if another business owner who you have helped do that says on video and writes it up, hey, this is Mike so-and-so of the Orlando Auto Group. We brought in Ken Countess, and here's how he impacted our personal lives and our business revenues and profits. This is what he did for us in 3 months or 4 months or 2 months. When somebody like that says it, it's a totally different experience for the person who's looking at that, taking it in.
Exactly.
They're going to say, wow, he did that for this guy, or he did that for that woman, or that business, or that family. This guy can probably help us.
Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you, I've been on your website and just seeing all the testimonials and all the raving fans you have, it's so clear that, you've found that secret and have put it to work for you too.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm wondering which site. Thank you. I'm wondering which site you're on. I've got a bunch of them out there. So there's different types.
The Joey Atlas.
Okay. Yeah. There's a few on there.
Yeah.
But another.
So this is a good time then for you to give your shameless plug. How do people reach out to you? How do they find out more about Joey?
So the easiest way is to go to joeyatlas.com, JOEYATLAS.com, or put the THE in front of it, thejoeyatlas.com. It'll get you to the same place. You can reach me. My social media links are at the bottom of that site. If you want to find me on social media, I'm not a huge social media user. I'm a light user, I would say, but I am willing to connect and communicate with anybody who might need a few tips and pointers and guidance. So that's the best way. That's really all I can think of. And if you want to see more about the home gym system that we were talking about earlier that we launched on Kickstarter, the shortcut to that would be Genius Home Gym. That's GENIUS HOMEGYM, geniushomegym.com.
There you go. Joey, this has really been a lot of fun. Thanks so much for taking time out of your day to be with us today. And I look forward to the next time we chat.
Absolutely. Thanks, Ken. This was great. Appreciate it.
All right. Bye.
Take care.
That's it for this episode of the Market Your Business Like a Pro podcast. I hope you enjoyed that interview with Joey Atlas. And don't forget to check out our brand new Email Marketing Online Academy. It's www.marketyourbusiness.co/email-academy. That's where you'll find out more. Check out all of our episodes of the Market Your Business Like a Pro podcast. It's on our website, marketyourbusiness.co. Look for the podcast tab, and there you'll find all previous episodes. And while you're on our website, don't forget to check out all the other resources and sign up for our weekly newsletter too.
Thanks for listening to the Market Your Business Like a Pro podcast with Ken Countess. Be sure to visit marketyourbusiness.co to access show notes, discover our fantastic content, and sign up for our mailing list. Have questions? Send Ken an email, ken@thecountessgroup.com, or Twitter @CountessGroup. See you next time.
If you need help with this or anything else related to marketing your business, reach out to us.